my partner in crime, Susan, could not make it this morning. She's getting ready for a yard sale and has contractors at her house and all kinds of crazy stuff. So she's adulting and I'm playing. As you see, I have an awesome guest. This is my brother from another mother. He lives in Salt Lake City, Utah, where I was born and raised. And he
As you
is
see, I have an
one
awesome
of
guest.
the
This is
most
my brother.
amazing people I've ever known. And I just got volume going over here. And he had a great idea for a podcast, and so I thought he might as well be a guest, right? Because who better to talk about it than who has his or who had the idea? He is a draftsman, an amazing musician, and he does all kinds of awesome stuff. So, without further ado, Jim Derrickson, meet my What the
Hello,
50
hello,
family, and vice versa.
hello, hello.
Hello, hello. So today we're going to talk about pushing your physical limits versus still knowing what your physical limits are. I thought that was such a great topic, Jim, because as 50, I'll be 57 this month, and I am stubborn as hell. I think
Hmm.
I can do everything, and I do everything, and sometimes I pay
Hmm.
for it. Because I have this denial that I am getting older and I can't do it. So it's a crazy thing, but it is what it is. And so
It is.
yeah. So tell
Well,
me your thoughts on it.
yeah, for me, as you know, I've been an athlete pretty much my whole life, and my choice of sport since I was 18 up until today is racquetball,
Yeah.
and I've achieved a pretty high level with not quite pro, but of open level, which is below pro, and it's I've achieving that level has something I'm very proud of, and I really love the sport. And the only reason I say that, I point out achieving that level is, I'm 60, I'm almost 67 years old, and I want to believe that I can still play, like I was 30 years old, and I'm probably within the last 10 years I've started to get to a point. I mean, I've realized I couldn't long before that, but I've gotten to a point since I've, in the last 10 or so years that I realized that there's certain, things that I have to not limit myself, but I have to know that I can't achieve. And when you know you can't, do certain things that you could do before, you almost instinctively limit yourself. So
Yeah.
but I do believe, and I want to preface all of this stuff with I'm not a physical therapist or all that, so I'm just speaking on my, with my experience. And and I'll probably say this a couple of times, during our talk is I'm not myopic. Okay, I know that I'm I know that I'm physically blessed as far as that goes. I'm the rare uh, hell, I'm a rare 65-year-old, but rare 50-year-old is not on one medication. And I know I've been blessed. That being said, I think I've done a lot on my own to keep my health where it's at. I think I've done a lot of it myself, and I've contributed to it a lot myself. So, and I think that again, I'm not myopic. I know people have different things going on in their life as they get older. So that it's not they can't necessarily do the things that I do. I can't necessarily do some of the things that some of the other guys who are even better in better shape or better physically talented than me. But I don't even want to approach it as an athlete. I want to approach it as just being active,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's the thing. I think when you get older is just be active, is as active as your body can possibly let you be.
I
You know,
agree.
we I think walk. I've talked to you a couple of times about walks. I know a lot of older people walk. Well, the whole premise of, you know, pushing your physical limit versus not going over your physical limit. And what I mean by that is if you go out and walk a mile.
Yeah.
And when you walk that mile, naturally walk a while, half mile away, walk a half mile back home.
Yeah.
If you feel like, if you're a little tired, but you feel like you can walk another half mile, walk that other half mile.
I
But
agree.
the other side of it is don't ever walk any further than you can walk to get back.
To get
you
back.
know,
Exactly. No,
but you
I've
got to
always
get
thought
back.
that with
You
anything,
don't want to
bike
have to call
riding.
Uber. You don't want to get out in the middle of nowhere and call Uber. Have to call Uber to get you home.
Exactly. Well, especially when you're jogging and you usually don't have money anyway, or I guess most people have the problem.
Right,
But no, I agree with that
right.
so much. I've always believed, and then of course everything you read, which so much often there's so much, no other way to say it, bullshit out there. People all have their opinions of
Oh yeah.
what's better for everybody, and all the exercise programs and the diet programs for young to older and whatever. But I believe that too is just simple movement. You've got to keep your body moving, and you
Keep
see
moving.
it as I do, Jim, as both being musicians. I watch people out in the audience. And the people here, especially in South Padre Island, I get the winter Texans. So I get the older folks. And the
Right.
ones that are active and go golfing and dance while I'm singing are the ones that
Yes.
are still thriving and dancing. And I've seen, very sadly, so many of my beautiful winter Texan friends pass away and go in there, or they just can't walk anymore, or they are on canes or wheelchairs. And I believe
Right.
that a lot of that, and not all of it, of course, but some people just have different issues. But I think that is
Mhm.
100% one of the reasons why they stay youthful and uh, able to do things, and
Yeah.
they push themselves enough that they're keeping their bodies youthful.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, the one thing I always my saying always was age is undefeated. You know,
I like that.
it, it it is. It's undefeated. We can we can push and feel better about ourselves and feel better physically as we get older. And again, not myopic. I know some people can't. Some things just go wrong.
I
And
agree,
I don't take for
absolutely.
granted. I do not take for granted that I haven't had that yet. It could happen
Knock on
anytime.
wood.
I have had, yeah. I mean, I quick when I had episode on the racquetball court where I'm playing doubles, and I went after a ball, and I was going all out, and I got close to it, and I started to put on the brakes, and something just came over me, and I just stopped. I stopped myself immediately,
Okay.
and one of the guys was giving me, and the ball just went on by. And one of the guys was giving me crap. He says, "Oh, you were there. You were there." And I says, "Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, and nobody will tell me nothing. If I had have taken one more step, my knee was going to blow. I
You
could
felt
feel
it.
it. I put the brakes on, and my knee was bending, and I felt just something that instinctively told me, stop, don't go any further. And it
That's
didn't hurt it
awesome.
at all. There was no pain, but I knew that if I had kept going, I was going to blow my knee out.
Well,
So
and
it's
why?
things like that,
Yeah, why
that
take a
I
chance? You know?
right, right, and I think that's that was instinctive.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
sometimes the instincts don't kick in. So but again, that's my thing. Like I say
Yeah,
I don't think you'll
absolutely.
have that trouble walking, but or another one is golf. A lot of older people play golf.
Yeah,
So things like when I play golf, I don't play it a lot, but I know I can walk 9 holes.
yeah.
I probably can't walk 18. I could walk 18, but I would get tired and I would be waiting for it to be over
There you
as
go. Well,
opposed to
see,
enjoying the round.
exactly. The great thing about golf too is, besides the walking, because it is a long day of walking, is that it's movement, but it's not terribly strenuous. So it's a great thing because you move
Exactly.
your body in so many ways, so it helps keep you stretched out and things. But Jim, I love
Mhm,
that. For me, my body, which this might seem really silly to some people, but I have always been the barefoot singer. And
mhm,
part of what we realize as we're getting older is your body doesn't heal as quickly. That's just a fact. It
mhm.
just doesn't, because
Right,
you're losing all of
right.
your all your stuff. And I jumped off the stage years ago and pulled both Achilles tendons at the same time.
Mhm,
That
mhm.
was misery for a very, very long time. And I unfortunately can no longer go barefoot. Every once in a while I'll do it because I'm stubborn, but
Yeah.
I even wear shoes with padding in my house because I have a tile floor. If I don't, my
Mhm.
heels burn. And
Yeah.
it's just what it is. They just haven't healed. So I do everything I can to stretch
Mhm.
and take care of them. But that's a choice that I'm making because, well, simply I don't want to be in pain, but also I don't want to further injure myself because I have a 7-year-old daughter, which that'll keep you running and keep you young. But I
Yeah,
want to be around here
especially
for her,
that
and
one.
I want to be able to run and play. And so I'm
Right.
doing everything I can to not push
Right.
that. You know, it goes
Yeah.
beyond
Well,
just my singing.
Exactly, and that's funny you mentioned the stage thing because I mean, it was nothing to jump off the stage, I mean, not even in performance, but
Yeah,
and most stages that we play, we're they're 3 feet high,
exactly.
at max, so it's not that big of a jump, and I mean, we used to when we were younger, we just dive on the ground just doing playing, and now if I'm
Exactly.
on a stage like that, like if we're setting up for the show, and you might have to hop off the stage to go and help put a cabinet up or adjust a board or something. I'm looking at that and thinking, should I make this jump? Or I need to not just jump off like I'm 20 years old. I need to do the, and then when I jump off, it's like, okay, that jarred me a little bit, but I'm okay. You know, it's,
Yeah.
but I got to
Yeah.
tell you the funny story when you talk about that, that just is kind of defining of it. About 10, 12 years ago, 12, 13 years ago, I was playing with a band at the time and I bought a brand new bass amplifier.
Okay.
And it was the newer technology. It was a new company and it was newer technology, speaker wise and cabinet wise, to where, I don't want to get into deep, but where the cabinets were really light. Okay. And as long as you've been in music, when you talk about speaker cabinets, you don't pick them up by yourself. You go and
Oh
help
no.
somebody, and they're always said, well, these were so lightweight. One of them was about 3 feet high, and a box, and the other one was, just about a foot high. It's just two small cabinets, and I could pick one up in one hand and one in the other hand. 12, 13 years ago, and it was no problem. I mean, and
Yeah.
and I would. The band, we'd be unloading and we get all the speaker cabinets in, and I'd go to my van and get my cabinets and I carry one in one hand and one in the other. Oh, you went away.
Every once in a while, if I get a
Oh,
call,
there
even though
you
I
are.
block them, it stops me. So you can just keep
Oh,
going because it's
okay.
not affecting you.
Okay, I'll just keep going. Okay, but anyway, I would walk in the club, and I walk past one of the band members, and I'd turn it on. I got these. Don't worry about these. You just get the mic stand. I got these two cabinets. And they would throw curse words at me, because they knew how light the cabinets really were, and they
Right.
would
Right.
just curse at me. You son of a bitch. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Well, that, like I say, that was 12, 13 years ago, and I haven't played with a band consistently for a little while, and they sit in my garage, and I don't know how they did it. I guess it's inactivity, but those cabinets have gained weight. I don't know if they're overeating when in the garage or what, but they have definitely. I take them in the clubs when I have to use them one at a time, and when I set it down, I have to regroup. And
Isn't
I
that
mean,
wild? Yeah.
you're talking about somebody who's, I mean, it doesn't do much for your strength, but I'm still playing racquetball 3 to 4 days a week,
Yeah. You're very
consistently
physically
every
fit.
week.
You are.
And even through all of that, at 66 years old, those cabinets are not as light as they used to be. I mean,
No.
it's crazy. So, again, age is undefeated. You can do what you can do, but I'm
Ex-
always going to pick those cabinets up and take them in.
yes.
You know,
You know what?
so I think that's the difference.
I love that you said that because I have had friends over the years, even before 50 and just getting close to 50, that refuse to pick things up and refuse to do things because I'm
Hmm.
50 and I shouldn't have to do that. I can't do that
Oh my
anymore. I'm too
gosh.
old to do that. And I'll tell you what, those are the people that have more problems with their body. And now they are unable to do those things because they didn't push
Exactly.
themselves even a little bit. If it's something you truly cannot do, that's one thing, but if you can
That's
do
what
it,
I
but
mean.
you're
That's
just
the
not
difference.
wanting to do it, yeah, because it's a little bit difficult or whatever. I have a daughter that's 65 pounds and I still carry her around. I don't carry her
Hmm.
around near as long, and pretty soon she'll be
Right.
carrying
Right.
me. But I
Yeah.
still I still move my furniture myself. I still do all the things. If it's a 200-pound table, of course, obviously I'm not going to do that. But I know my limits as well. But I absolutely will always, always push myself, and I will never tell myself I cannot do it. I will at least try and at least, scope it out and see what I'm able to do because I know the second that I stop doing things and the second I stop using my muscles and moving is the second that I start dying, literally, because I know
Exactly.
my body will
Exactly.
deteriorate. And I don't take any drugs either at all. I'm not on any medications. I have ibuprofen in the house because like once in a blue moon, my
Yeah, and I do
ankles will
that
hurt, but
too.
it's still Very rarely, and usually it's my guests that use it. I have my vitamins and that kind of stuff. I just started
Mhm,
taking collagen and all the things that I should have taken a while ago. We'll see if that works. It's supposed to make me look younger and cuter, so you guys can all be the
mhm.
judge of that as we do our podcast. But I also real quick wanted to give a shout out to Philip. Thank you, our number one fan. I love you. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for coming, Marky Mark. Wilderness
Yeah,
Project, I don't know if you're still here, but to get you caught up, this is one of my best friends, my brother from another gym, for anybody that just joined us. And we're just talking about keeping young, and he's doing it. And I love it. I love that energy. And also, it helps your energy, it helps you sleep, all the
well,
things if you
absolutely,
keep yourself active.
absolutely. Well, that's the thing. I want to interject. You said ibuprofen. Well, I think ibuprofen is healing as well because it takes inflammation off. And so it's I don't I know people who have taken every day, and I
Oh, yeah.
don't agree with that. But I think
No.
every once in a while. But
Yeah.
um, gosh, I just lost the thought of what you just said. Um, what you just finished
That's an
saying.
over 50 thing, Jim.
It is an over 50 thing. It's an over 60 thing, but but yeah, so again, and I see, friends that just stop doing anything and
Yeah.
stop doing everything. And the funny thing is I've talked to people back home, because I'm from Illinois, for those who don't know it. And they asked me how's it going. I said, well, I'm doing my same routine. I'm still playing music, still playing racquetball. Are you still playing racquetball? I said, why wouldn't I be?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I be?
Exactly.
And I think it's okay. That's one thing I was going to say. I think it's okay when we talk about pushing a limit. It's okay to tire yourself out. You
Yeah.
know, when you're doing whatever you're doing, whether if you're walking, if you're playing golf, it's okay to tire yourself out. And when I finished playing racquetball, I'm tired. The guys laugh, because we always go over next door for a beer when we get through playing racquetball, and then when we finish our beer, we get up, and that's when I feel the racquetball. That I just played for 2 hours, and I have to let my legs stretch out, and they looking at me because most of them are pickleball players now, and that's their big joke to me is you're one knee injury away from playing pickleball with us, so.
Yeah.
But uh, which I'm fighting that off. But anyway, I think it's okay to be a little bit fatigued when you do whatever it is you do, whether it's walking, whether it's golf, whether it's whatever. That's what I think that, the way from my perspective is whatever it is you do physical, just
Yes.
do it and push yourself a little bit with it, and
Exactly.
naturally, I think again, with the whole not being myopic, some people have ailments and they're under doctor's orders and this and that, but I also think that a lot of people don't um, help with their physical treatment in the sense that they're strictly under the doctor and what the doctor says, and they don't do things that they don't. I don't even know how to explain it. I think sometimes the doctors are a little bit conservative,
Oh, I do
with
too. I do
things,
too. Absolutely. Well, and
you may have knee surgery. You may have
go
knee
ahead.
surgery, and they tell you don't do anything for 8 weeks. Well, you
Yeah.
might be able to do something in 6 weeks, but you have to be the judge of that.
Exactly.
You know
No, I think so too. I think, but I obviously they need to err on the side of caution. But at the same
exactly.
time, I think if you're not somewhat progressive with it, then it takes longer to heal. Your body is
Sure
so
does.
magical and so resilient, and it will heal on its own. But if you don't work with it and encourage it and stuff, it definitely takes a lot longer. And if you just sit there, then it may or may not heal because
Mhm.
you need to. We're meant to move. We're not. I mean, if we weren't meant to move when a baby came out, they wouldn't move. They'd lay there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? The
It's,
babies come out like this, and that's kind of how I still am. But
yeah.
in fact,
Yeah.
my
Another.
Tamlin just joined us, Jim, and Tamlin, I know, I because I know her would agree with this, but she's the same. We've been both on a mission to get ourselves back in shape, and we
Mhm.
have days where she'll come and we'll Netflix all day, and it finally gets to the point. It's like we got to get up, we got to go get
Got to
sunshine,
move.
we got to get out, we got to move. And there's nothing wrong with having those days where you're lazy and you got to do it once in a while because your body needs that as well. But
Right.
I can imagine, and I'll use my dad as an example. He did work until he was out all day, but he'd get home and he'd sit in front of the couch, and that's pretty much all he did. He would go
Hmm.
golfing sometimes, but you know my dad, he didn't get much
Yeah.
exercise. And
Right.
look at his, at least his physical shape compared to my mom. My mom was on so much better physical shape, and she
Hmm.
didn't stop going. She didn't go to the gym.
Right.
She didn't go, running around and doing crazy stuff. But I mean, she was nonstop in the garden, in the house, doing this,
Go, go,
working,
go.
whatever. And her everything about her was healthier. So
Hmm. Well, and that's the other thing, is knowing that you have to. You said that just a few minutes ago. Is knowing that you have to stop too.
exactly.
You have to give yourself time to recuperate.
Yeah.
Don't just go 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 go. Um, I have to mention, one of the things related to this. Sunday I'm heading down to St. George for the Huntsman World Senior Games,
Woo woo.
and
Congratulations.
it's an amazing event because it's the age limit is however many people they get. It, I'll equate it to racquetball, for instance. We've got a couple 85-year-olds in there, and if they get enough 100-year-olds in there to compete, then the limit is 100 years old, and they go in 5-year increments. 60, 65, 70, 75,
That's awesome.
and we've got a couple 85-year-olds. But to go around town because there's so many different things going on other than racquetball. There's all kinds of events going on: volleyball, tennis, track and field. You got 70 and 80-year-olds competing in track and field.
I
It's
didn't know
amazing
that.
event. Yes. Oh,
I don't know
it is.
why I didn't know that after all these years of knowing you.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna say, and all these years of you living in Salt Lake when the Huntsman games are right in St. George.
yeah, I guess I don't think about, I guess I never, when you always say going to the senior racquetball, that's what I think
Mhm.
about. I guess I haven't, I guess I didn't put it together with the Huntsman games. I don't know why. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
don't really
No,
talk to
that's
anybody else that does it except you, and you play racquetball.
right.
So I just thought you were
Right.
going to a
Right.
racquetball tournament.
No, it's the big thing, and it's like I say, it's amazing to go around town and see all of these athletes, and some people when you tell them the Huntsman Road Senior Games, they get a bunch of people walking around on their walkers, playing croquet and stuff like that,
Oh
and
no.
and and no, it's not that. It's not that at all. And naturally, as you get up in the later years, the 75 and 80-year-olds and stuff like that, they're not moving as fast. Naturally, they're not,
No,
but
but they're
they're moving.
moving and they're
They're
doing
moving.
it.
Another one of my sayings: if you stop the body from moving, the body will stop moving.
I agree. I
You know,
like that. That's
and
a great.
you have to keep your joints moving. You have to keep. Like I say, when I get up after playing and I go and have a beer and I stand up, I it's not just oh, okay, wait a minute, but the first 3 or 4 steps are reminding my muscles and my knees that okay, it's time to get moving.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
But
Definitely.
but
I get
but
that
for me,
completely.
it's a good for me, I guess, my attitude is it's a good tired because
Yeah.
I earned that tired,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it
I
does.
worked and I earned that
Absolutely.
tired because doing something I love to do.
Yeah.
Just that's why I put emphasis on whatever it is whatever your thing is, whether it be golf, whether it be walking, whether it be pickleball, whatever your thing is. Um, just do your thing, but push it a little bit, push it a little bit, and know that you worked at it to get there. So,
Absolutely. And one again, pickleball. We love pickleball. Emerald absolutely loves pickleball. She's so funny.
mhm. Oh,
But
pickleball's fun.
yeah, it is fun. And it's again, it's the thing is with racquetball and that kind of stuff that you do, if people don't understand how taxing it is on your body. And it is fun.
Oh,
I
it
have
is.
played
It is.
racquetball in years. Tennis is the same. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's so like you said earlier in the episode, the fact that you are learning about your body and you're understanding that you have your limits and you're instinctively doing it. I love that. So, with that said, I think that it's very important, always, no matter what age you are, but especially as we're getting older, to start getting in tune with your body. Listen to your body. our bodies are 100% simply feedback for what's going on in our lives. If you're not feeling well,
Yeah,
there's a reason. If your stomach hurts, there's a reason. If you're, feeling lonely well, lonely, there's a whatever. But your body, your brain, everything about you is feedback for something that needs to shift in your life. And it doesn't necessarily mean something physical. It could mean something mental. It could mean something
yeah,
in your work. It just But your brain will put it into your body and it will tell you. So I love that you hear that. And I think it's so important for us to hear that, because
yeah.
if we don't answer what our body's trying to tell us, we will get worse.
Yeah. Physical and mental work together. Whether we want to believe it or not, they do work together.
Yeah, they
I
do.
tell
Oh,
the funny thing about, again, relating it to racquetball for me is the biggest, tell people the biggest thing I've noticed after I've over the age of 50, and I really noticed after the age of 60 is, again, this is a sport that I absolutely love to play. And I'll be sitting at work, and I'm thinking, and then all day. I'm
yeah.
thinking I can't wait to get off of work, because today is a day that I really want to get out there and hit the ball really good and compete. We've got our group and we play mostly doubles, and they're my closest friends here. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see my buddies, but I can't wait to get out there and play. And I get out there and I get dressed and I start warming up, and that was all in my brain. I
I
start
love
warming
it.
up and my body goes, you know what? I'm not too much into this today. you know, and my brain's going, but yeah, but we want, and my body's saying, well, you go play. I'm not, and those are the days that you just look at and say, okay, I went on the court and I got my workout in. I didn't play well, but I got
But
my
you got it
workout in.
in.
But sometimes your body just tells you, I'm not in the mood today, and those are the days, I usually play 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I might quit after an hour and a half,
Right.
again, trying to follow what my body's saying. It's saying, this is not a good day to physically push yourself, because that you do have those days. You do have those days, again, just days where, and the problem with racquetball for me, because again, I still play it at a high level, just not as hard and as long, but I still play it at a high level, is to be careful not to do something stupid, to do something. I get clumsy. If I get
Yeah.
tired, I get sloppy and clumsy. And when you get sloppy and clumsy, that's when you do something that could injure you,
Absolutely. Yeah.
that could cause an injury. So you got
Yeah.
to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
There you go.
And I think you said it earlier. Just read your body,
Yep.
read your body, and follow your body. Because that's kind of where I was interjecting with the whole physician thing. Sometimes can only talk to you in general for the most part, in some things, and they don't necessarily know what your body can handle. I mean, they
True.
can guess. They
Right.
can scientifically guess, and not, with their knowledge. But sometimes your body can handle more than what they think. Sometimes it
Sure.
can't handle what they think.
Exactly. Oh
But
no. You know what Tamlin just said? I love this because we talk about this stuff all the time. She said it's dis-ease instead of disease. It's dis-ease in the body, and it's held trauma as and your current mental state. And I love that because that is so true. It's all connected, and we don't get
yes,
diseases. We have issues in our body that we don't address. Our body's trying to fight it all off, and if we don't address it, that's when it becomes a larger problem.
right, right, yeah, and I think definitely as you get older, you definitely don't want to ignore things. You
No,
know,
true.
I don't, I'm kind of anti the medical profession. I know we've needed, but I'm kind of anti. So I don't believe
Yes.
in running to the doctor every time you get an ailment. I had a guy I worked with, and he talked about his wife. He says, she gets a little pain right here, she's running to the doctor.
I
You know,
have to be bleeding or broken to go to the doctor.
I don't. Sometimes
Like
I
bleeding
don't go
bad.
to the doctor when I should. And I mean, my wife, God rest her soul, she was extreme on that, and then ended up being a little bit too extreme on it.
Yeah. Yep.
Sometimes you got to stop and say, let me go find out what the hell is going on with me.
Sure, sure,
You know,
sure, sure. Oh yeah,
so
there's,
and
both sides to everything, and it's just
there is
again
there is it's a
listening and
balance.
determining what's the best for you for sure. And whatever that
It,
is. And we're not saying to anyone out there if you go to the doctor all the time, that's fine. That's no There's no judgment here. That's
some
just
people need
what
it.
we do.
Some
Some
people
people need
need
it, and
to.
even just going to the doctor sometimes just eases people's minds. So we
Right.
support you and love you no matter what side of that you are on. And I love that too, Philip. He said sometimes people are afraid to hear what's going on when they feel pain. And that is, I think, a big problem
I
too,
think my wife
because
was there.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I think so too, Jim. Yeah, that makes sense. But
And
so I
and
think what
and
Jim's
I
saying,
get that way sometimes. I get that way
yeah,
sometimes. I don't wanna know, and I'll wait and see, let's see if it goes away. Let's
there
see if
you
it
go.
goes away. And
Oh yeah,
again, my blessing is that most of it ends up doing that.
it does. I
So,
will it to go away. I talk to the universe in my
mhm,
brain. I'm like, okay, this is it. We're done. I'm done with the pain. I'm done with ever. And literally, it definitely makes a difference. But with that
it does.
said, we are running out of time. Oh my gosh, I'm so
It's
happy that you
wow.
joined us. This has been such an awesome podcast. Thank you guys for everyone, my What the 50 family that joined us and commented. Philip and Marky Mark. We have a new one, Marky Mark and Tamlin. Always you join us when you can. And she's been a guest on our show a few times. But I
Mhm.
love, we love. Look, I know Susan, we miss you so much, but we'll have to do this again, Jim. Get you on
Yeah, we
here, and
will.
hopefully Susan will be able
I'm
to
looking
join
forward to
us.
meeting her.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She is awesome as well. And I don't know, but you guys out there, please share our channel. I know that they say you're not supposed to ask, but hey, why not? You guys are here, and I love you. Please share and talk about what the 50s, please, because we really want to reach out to as many people as we can and laugh and share our insights. Whether or not they're good or not, we're going to share them. But we
Right.
appreciate you joining us, Philip. You're always here, and I don't know. We just love you. We'll be back. We'll be back next week, and keep tuned on our Facebook. We've got all the sites. It's WT plus 50plus.com. You can find our website, and we're updating that. So you should find some new fun stuff on that soon. And Jim, again, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes, yes.
All
I'm
right. Well,
glad
I
you had
love
me
you.
on.
I love you dearly, and I love you with the 50
I love
family.
you.
And we will see you next time.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.